Joe Rogan is a 6-time MMA Personality of the Year winner and has been featured in 3 EA Sports video games. He went from growing up with an abusive father and being terrified of being called a loser as a child, to now having one of the most popular podcasts and YouTube channels on the planet. And today we're going to learn his best advice on why you must have humility. Rise and shine, it's Entspresso time.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Hey, it's Carmichael, and every morning I give you a shot of Entspresso to help you believe in yourself more and start your day with confidence. So good morning, I believe in you, and let's do this. Joe Rogan, tell us how to have humility.
It's okay to be wrong. I've made a mistake. I'm so sorry.
It's not just okay to be wrong, it's a gift. When you're wrong, it's a gift, because that humility that comes with being wrong is what really helps your education as a person.
Yes, agreed.
As a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a lover, a father, a son. You learn when you learn like, goddamn, I was wrong. Like that's a valuable lesson because it's a humiliating lesson.
Well, and you set yourself free too, because there's some, when you're hanging on to righteousness like this, like, you know, inability to say that you were wrong.
Yep.
That is a burden.
It's not just a burden. It's a foolish pursuit. Like, you should relish every opportunity to apologize and say you're wrong as a showing of strength.
Yeah.
Because if you think you're strong, you think you're strong and you know you're wrong and you don't tell the truth, well, then you're a fool. You're missing out on an opportunity for you to be strong. For you to show that you're strong, to show that you made a mistake. I've made a lot of mistakes. I make them all the time. I'm a dummy. All right, like, I do my best, but ultimately, at the end of the day, there's a lot of dummy in me, and I do my best. But if I make a mistake, I will out of that mistake. If you talk to me about it and you want to have a discussion about it, I'm not one of those people that I don't think there's any value in pretending you didn't make a mistake. I think there's
a
real
societal.
But I think we're wrong about that
misconception.
But it's they don't know. The people that did it didn't understand. The rules that were written by people who really hadn't had a good grasp of the territory yet. They didn't really understand what they were saying. They should have taught people that in school. They should have taught people like that in junior high school for sure. They should have said your failures, those feelings that you feel. Like, they teach you about history and math, and those things are great. There's nothing wrong with that. But they should have taught us about how your failures are a very valuable fuel.
Yeah.
That feeling that you get when a girl dumps you, or that feeling that you get when you crash your car, or that feeling that you get when you ruin something, you say something wrong, when something comes out of your mouth, when anything you do wrong, you flunk out of a class, whatever it is, that negative feeling is a boost. It's supposed to take you into the next orbit. It's supposed to blast you into the next level of understanding what you were doing wrong and how to improve in your life and how to go forward with better habits. And if you don't experience that pain, that feeling, that embarrassment, then you don't really know how valuable it is to stay on your grind.
So this one's a little hard for me because I think I have a totally different problem. I've actually had too much humility. It's one of the things that I've struggled with the most, that I've gotten to the most, not arguments or debates, but more feedback. The honest feedback for me on how to get better is having too much humility to the point where that's a weakness. Great, you're complaining about having too much humility, but I'm massively afraid about disappointing people. I've always felt like my story wasn't good enough, and I'm an introvert that never craved the spotlight. And one of the biggest fights I would get into with my agent has been, Evan, you need to be famous. Like, I don't want to be famous, but if you're more well known, your message gets out there more. You have the ability to impact more people, and slowly, with a lot of pushing, a lot of punching in the face, to be honest, emotionally. I'm moving more and more into not having less humility, but just having more confidence in what I'm doing, in my message, in my story, in my worth, in belief, right? That's why I still need more belief. My biggest problem is a lack of belief in myself. Everything I've done, I can keep doing, but to get to the next step of what I want to do, I need more belief, right? I've grown a lot. I have way more belief than 19-year-old Evan in his first business, but still not enough for where I want to be. I think of earlier this year when I was in Puerto Rico, and Brendan Burchard invited me down there, and it's all of his homies and people who have built, billion-dollar businesses. And he, I spent the week with him before, and he stopped me just before we started our 4 or 3 day event. And he said, Evan, you have to make sure that you ask. You got to ask for something here. You can't just serve. You can't just be humble. I mean, I have built to serve. It's great. You have to ask. You got to show up and ask for something. You're here. You're good. He, I guess, saw me over the past 4 days of helping at his event and spending hours and hours just in the hallway talking to people. And he said, you need to make sure you get something out of this beyond just helping the people here in the room. And I got a similar message earlier this week when I was invited to be a part of this mastermind call where the marketers is all only marketers. And I knew a couple of them, and they've had massive success. And they hop on a call to share their experiences every week. And they invited me in to listen for 1 week and then share my YouTube knowledge the next week. And the guy who's leading it is a super well-known marketer. And he said, I told him, my only concern is that I can't bring enough value to your group. I'm going to do my best. If they care about YouTube, I'm going to crush it. Within the YouTube context, I'm going to crush it. With something else, these guys are running bigger marketing budgets, way bigger marketing budgets than I am. They've built way bigger businesses than I do. And so it's an easy spot to feel less than, can't bring value. And so a preface it is like, dude, you need to stop saying that. I want you to talk to my wife, who's an expert at this thing, and do a session with her. And so I think, yes, I'm happy to do that. I'll talk to your wife. I'll rise to the challenge, but it's been the biggest push. And I'm so grateful for people who are honest enough to see the weakness and then call me out on it and push me to want to do better, to say, hey, here in this moment, before this happens, you have to do this. You have to make sure you ask. And asking at the Puerto Rico event was super nervous. I was super nervous. I was super scared. I mean, I knew some of them well, and some of those first time I'm meeting them, and asking them to take a picture with my book, asking them for help with the contact, asking them for their number to put it in his high school, to put it into my phone. All of that stuff that for them might be super basic, or even you watching might be super basic, was difficult for me. I go to events, and even though my YouTube thumbnails are being shown as the best, even though I've done more split tests than anybody on YouTube, and will run probably 4,000 split tests this year just on YouTube thumbnails, the humility serves me to walk in and say, hey, I still want to learn. You have a better, anybody, you guys watching, you got a better thumbnail design than mine? I'll test it. Show me that yours is better. I would love to do that. I'd love to have you design all my thumbnails instead of me doing it, right? My team. So there's definitely the plus of having humility and humbleness. But I think my challenge is more having so much of it that it becomes a weakness, and having the lack of belief in my ability to do the next thing. And so it's something I'm constantly battling with. I watch the videos of all these people that I look up to and respect to try to get better, to try to learn. Every time I do it, I believe a little bit more in myself. And then listening to feedback and having people push you. And when somebody says that you're weak at this thing, especially if you hear it multiple times from different people who've all had some kind of success, and they're all saying, hey, this point, right? Like it took me maybe 5 years with my agent to actually hear what he was saying. And he tried a lot of different ways, but it took me 4 or 5 years to actually embrace it and run with it. And now when I see the message from different people, I'm trying to catch it a little bit sooner, because I recognize that's going to be a next unlock for me to get to the next step that I need to go. So, a little bit of a different video, just sharing my perspective and honesty. I'd love to know what you think. Question of the day, what do you think? Do you need more humility in your life right now? Or do you need more confidence, belief in your life right now? Let me know. Or do you need both? You don't know what you need. Let me know. Put your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you made it this far in the video, you're still here watching, and you promise, you commit that you're gonna do something about it. We take action here in Believe Nation. You're promising to take action in your life today based off of what you learned here in this video. I wanna celebrate you. Give me a hashtag Believe down in the comments as well.
When you're scared or nervous or not confident, a lot of people have DNA that makes them overcompensate I call it a cactus. They're a cactus. They're tough on the outside, but they're soft on the inside. The reason I keep telling everybody kindness is a strength is I'm super nice and super passive, actually, and like I'm willing to let people take advantage of me because I'm strong inside. So the question is, you have to just know if you're nervous, if you're using, fake confidence to actually hide something you're concerned about. Humility is an incredible strength that many men and many people never want to show. I put out content more about me passing on Uber and losing than I do about the things I win on. Everybody else puts out content of fake wins. That's the difference.
If you want to know Jordan Peterson's take on why you must treat yourself well, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
If you're going to treat yourself properly, which you should, you have to treat yourself as an iterated process across time properly.